All right, Shalom. I want to start by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well, and also to their elders, the men that taught them. I pray the Lord have peace, blessings, and mercy upon the households of the hopeful elect. This is the brother Shemai One from the Great Millstone Houston Church. And today I want to come with a lesson. You know, we're in the quote-unquote new year, 2026. And a lot of people on this earth have a vain hope, you know, where they just really don't understand that the same thing has been going on for the past, you know, for years, as far as saying, you know, hopefully 2026 will be a better year, or making a bold statement saying it's going to be better in 2026. You know, 2026, things are going to change. If you go back in the past and backtrack the years, that's said every new year. You know, so people at this point are just, what is that, insanity? Doing the same thing, but hoping for a different result. This place is over with. And the beauty of it is 2026 marks the 250 year of this place being a nation. And it lines up with the timeline and the measurements that Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai have on the longevity of a nation. You know, roughly around, 200 to 300 years. But 250 is the mark, you know. But with that being said, I want to get a few precepts because, just understanding the times that we're in, things are only going to get worse and not better. Better comes when Yahweh Shai brings righteousness to this place. But before that, judgment is coming. So let's start here. 2 Timothy chapter 3 in verse 1. It says, "Know this also, that in the last days perilous times shall come." Perilous meaning dangerous times. All right. "For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy." And it just shows you this place is on a moral decline. In the last days, the generation that's going to be on the earth is going to be a major moral decline, on all levels, through the spirit, the conversation, the manner of life is going to be a major decline, not better. It's getting worse. "For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent," which means without self-control, intemperate. It says fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High. And that sums the quote of this year, the staple of this year, from the apostles. So things are not getting better. Things are getting worse. Let me get a few more precepts. This is Matthew chapter 24. And I'm going to start at verse 6. Hold on, let me stay on my phone. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6. It says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." And that's the thing. Well, it's gonna say it in verse 8. Like, these are the birth pains kicking in. It says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows." See, so the beginning of sorrows are coming. Now, put it like this. It's no longer you know, I ain't gonna say it's no longer coming. It's here. It's gonna be felt. It is going to be felt, man. You know, it says, again, let me read that again. Verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. There's going to be division. There's going to be turmoil going on a high level. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. People are really finna get affected by what's written in these scriptures, especially in the times that we're in. But verse 8 says, all these are the beginning of sorrow. So if that's just the beginning, you know what, things are gonna just all of a sudden just make a shift change, you know, and just disappear and just be right and be good and easy and comforting and comfortable times. No, if that's the beginning of it, it's only gonna continue to increase and intensify, just like birth pains. You know, the evils are gonna get more evil. You know, it's gonna be very dangerous times on the earth, like we started off in the book of 2 Timothy. Hold on. Let me jump down. Verse 12. It says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And that's what you see, a major decline. You know, the generation that's here on the earth, these niggas are crazy. And if you look up that word, where is it? Cold. In the blue letter, it's G5594, and it goes into psycho. The word is psycho, right? These people are losing their minds, unstable in their ways, and judgment is coming where it's going to hit them all of a sudden, like the scriptures tell you. What is that? Peace and safety, 1 Thessalonians 5:3. Let me go to it in my Bible. It's amazing how people could be so much in a rut, you know, engulfed in evil and hard times, but that just shows you the influence in the weight of the vibration of this world. Still have people celebrating, you know, celebrating some BS, you know, that is vain and they themselves know it is, but yet got the energy and the audacity to say 2026 is going to be a better year whenever you are losing, you know. But that's the weight of this world, you know. A foot or a boot up your butt, but you still got to smile, you know. It's amazing. But this is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 3. 1 Thessalonians 5:3, it says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. And just thinking about how in Matthew it mentioned the beginning of sorrows, it makes me think about the birth pains. You know, it's going to continually increase. And these people think peace and safety is on its way. No, destruction is coming, right? And especially if you're not paying attention to what's going on, you know, measuring the times diligently within themselves, you could clearly see this place is not finna be healed. You know, no mercy is finna be shown to this place. All right. That's why you see the speedily in the quick decline. You know, everything is just on a low, you know, is burnt out. It ran its course, you know. So it says, for when they shall say peace and safety, 2026 is going to be is going to be better. Then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. All right. And just thinking about it, Yahweh Shah said that's how it's going to be in the last days, how it was in the days of Noah. Hey, during the days of Noah, it was time of judgment. During the days of Noah, guess what? It was judgment season. But what were people doing? Going along, you know, their day-to-day life, the normalcy of life, right? But destruction came their way and they were overtaken. They did not escape. You know, the Lord had mercy on Noah and his house, right? A remnant. But let me get this. This is Luke 17 and verse 26. It says, this Yahweh speaking. And as in the days of Noah, which is Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man, right? Upon Yahweh's return, how is it going to be? They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day of Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. Likewise also, as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. That's how it's going to be. People are going to be caught off guard, right? Thinking things are going to be okay, but it's not. People caught up in the everyday activities in life, you know, comfort is going to be in just thinking about it. People are going to have certain comforts that they're going to try to hold on to, tightly, but not understanding it's time to let all of that shit go. No attachments on this side, because the Lord is coming back to take anybody who thinks they have, life on this side or something to actually hold on to besides Yahweh Shai, besides the spiritual matters, how does it say? The heavenly things. The Lord is finna take the mirth away from this place. The little bit of joy that is left on this side, that's finna be taken away and stripped, But the scriptures just said things are gonna be going on where people are gonna think that things are gonna be okay. Their little comforts. But guess what? Whenever the elect are sealed, whenever the protection of the election comes, they're going to be destroyed. Just like whenever Noah entered the ark, whenever Lot, made it out of the city, that's whenever the destruction came. And the scriptures tell you the righteous are going to be scarcely saved, showing you how bad and dangerous of a time it's going to be. But the Lord knows how to preserve and spare the righteous, the faithful, the ones looking for the change to come, the ones looking for this place to get judged so we could, finally live that righteous life like the Lord promised. Luke 21 and 28. It reads, and when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. So that's what's coming, redemption is coming. Just thinking about how I just said the righteous are going to scarcely be saved. That's the thing. It's a promise. It's a guarantee that somebody's going to make it out this thing, because understanding what it says in Revelations, the 12th chapter, how it says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth. Let me just read it. Trouble is coming. Destruction is coming. This place is done with, but guess what? If we're still here in the midst thereof, if we're still in the middle of this, during the judgments and the destruction, and Lord willing, we do, we're here to see this take place. The Lord has it set where, a remnant is going to be protected and spared, man, and delivered from them times. That's why the evils are going to increase. But guess what? Redemption is drawing nigh. Is going to be a balance. The worse it gets, the more you finna see the Lord do what he said he was going to do. Preserve a remnant, keep a remnant, But Revelation 12 and 12, it says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. Why? For the devil is come down upon you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So judgment is coming and he knows it. That's why it's finna get so dangerous. And you can see the times that we're in. You know, this man is really, you know, his pride is on an all-time high. Speaking about Esau, you know, finna come down. Jacob's trouble, Isaiah 30:7, is gonna be a time like never before, you know, in a focus on the Israelites. But, you know, Jake still think because it's 2026, you know, it's something finna change as far as like things are gonna get better. You know, but going back to the point, trouble is coming. Esau's finna come down having great wrath, right? Why? Because his time is running out. We're at the end of this thing, you know? So that means in election, their redemption is getting closer. Let me see. But I just wanted to get that real quick. You know, hey, the beginning of sorrow. So the birth pains are finna, you know, intensify, like it says in 2nd Esdras. But at the same time, the Lord is finna show that a redemption is drawing nigh for those that got faith and trust and hold on, you know, to this word. So I'll end it there. I pray this lesson was edifying to the Lord's elect. And Lord willing, until the next time, I say shalom.